Hello and welcome to this week's Football Talk, episode number 147, and it's me, Dave, as your host for this week. It's your chance to sit back, get yourself comfortable as we bring you up to date on this week's football. We'll talk news. I'm going to get my brain challenged in a quiz. We're going to review the week's European finals as well as some of our previous pre-season predictions, and finally I'll be sending Josh an unsolicited wiki pick for him to stare blankly at, all in the Wikifiles. So if that sounds like something you'd enjoy, drop us a like, subscribe to our channels on YouTube and Spotify so that you don't miss any episodes. We are here every Sunday morning. Now over to my co-host all the way in England, it's Josh Cool. How are you doing, sir?
Pretty good. I'm wearing shorts.
Oh my word. Okay.
Yeah.
Me too, but that's not a rare occurrence.
I imagine you're always wearing shorts. I only thought about this morning when I was donning shorts because it's nice weather. It's nice weather for the bank holiday weekend.
Yeah.
But I imagine you're always in shorts.
Other than when I go to the office, I am always in shorts, yes.
Oh, have you got to dress fully, properly, like adult for going to the office, have you?
Yeah, so it's got to be like trousers and shirt, or polo shirt, polo shirt.
What's your in summer? What's your footwear of choice? Are you a flip flop man? Are you a sandal man?
I wear flip flops
Crocs?
everywhere here, absolutely
Flip-flops.
everywhere. Unless we're going to a restaurant where I'm not allowed to wear flip flops, or I'm taking the dog on a long walk, then it's trainers. But yeah, it's normally flip flops. So.
I've got into Crocs. I like a Croc.
Oh, so many people are telling me about Crocs. I'm like, I still can't
They're
live with
good.
it.
They're lovely. Yeah.
Are they really comfy?
Yeah, they're very comfortable. Yeah, light, and can strap on the back so they stay on a bit. But I'm a full cock. Don't leave your Crocs in the sunlight because they shrink. I had a pair of Crocs, left them just outside the back door, and then put them on a few weeks later, and I was like, what? And they just completely shrunk, and there must be some moisture in them, dries out. So I had to get some new, lovely blue and white Crocs. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Is there any Crocs that are like brand? Can you get like Spurs Crocs or United Crocs or?
You know what? I've never been a big fan of wearing. If I'm wearing something Spurs, I'm wearing a Spurs shirt. I probably did do when I was younger, and like my birthday presents, in my primary, secondary school years. But I've never really done wearing a Spurs bag or a Spurs tie or something. Have you ever had any Man United stuff?
You mean like those golf shoes over my shoulder that are Man United golf shoes?
I can't see, Dave.
Yeah. You can't see me on camera,
yeah.
but they're there every video, Josh. So they're every cool.
Yeah.
We have got a few technical issues why my camera looks a little bit different today, because I've got to go for a backup camera, which means Josh can't see me. So, but yes, no, I'm pretty similar. I mean, I've got a Man United hat, which is also behind me, and Man United golf shoes. But the golf shoes are a bit more of a jovial sort of thing. I've only worn them once and I had a terrible round, so they've never come back out again.
Doesn't sound that jovial, Dave.
So yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's not jovial. Wasn't the right word.
But I might change that because of an evening I like to relax in like a tracksuit, bottoms and t-shirt, and maybe I throw a hoodie on. But I was thinking I don't mind the looks of the training wear, so I might
Okay.
not to wear outside. I'm not like that, but
housewear, loungewear. Yeah,
loungewear. Yeah.
No. Nice. All right then. Well, we'll dive straight into it because there is quite a lot of things we want to cover again today. And last week we had lots to cover and we basically ran out of time. So let's go then straight into it, Josh. News first, as ever. And I know that you want to touch on managers.
Yes, managerial merry-go-round. And I've made a list here of some, not all. This is not an exclusive list. So let me just go through it. So we have Andrea Pirlo out, Max Allegri in at Juventus. We have Inzaghi out at Lazio, maybe AVB in to give a little Rome derby with Mourinho. We have Conte out at Inter, maybe Inzaghi in there. We have Zidane out at Real Madrid, maybe Conte, maybe Poch, maybe Raul in there. We have Poch maybe out, even though PSG seem to be denying all knowledge that there's any talk of him being out. We have Gattuso out. We have Conceição in. We have Jukanovic in at Sheffield United. We have Howe not in at Celtic. Maybe Postecoglou in for the Australian fans there. We have Peter Bosch in at Lyon. We have Van Bommel in at Wolfsburg. We have maybe Koeman out. We have Gaultier out at title-winning Lille. And we have probably everybody free linked with the Spurs in job. So it's moving around, isn't it?
It is. I know as actually Ross, who comments a lot in the channel, was saying that Chris Wilder has now been linked to West Brom.
Yes, that is a West Brom link, but I've heard,
is an odd one, which I don't quite get, because why would he? You might as well just stay with Sheffield United, is how my logical brain sits. So
Yeah, I think it was the backroom stuff that he fell out about with Sheffield United. So maybe I feel the ownership is better for him. But yeah, I mean, his star had fallen slightly, and maybe he could have got a Premier League job. But I mean, West Brom are never too far away from a Premier League, are they? They're normally there or thereabouts. So I think that would be an okay fit, I'd say.
Yeah. Latest one I read today is that Palace are now going all in, is what the title said, for Nuno Espirito Sante, which will be interesting fit, I think. So
Okay, I'm not against that wholly, but again, I feel like his Wolves time was propped up maybe slightly by the Mendes link and then be able to sign every Portuguese player he wanted.
Yeah. No, and the interesting one for me is Eddie Howe turning down Celtic. Now, that strikes me as he's got something else in the pipeline. Because we've talked about Celtic before, haven't we? To say that, you know, when you're out of a bit of luck, it's the classic Brendan Rodgers: go there, win a league, build up your reputation a little bit more, move back to the Premier League. Like,
yeah, it's like if you're doing bad at a computer game and you're playing on intermediate, go to easy level and give British confidence back up. You know, yeah, I'm actually a good player now. I've just thrashed Real Madrid 7-0 on easy mode.
Yeah,
that's how I like him going to manage Celtic.
So I see that as that he's got something else lined up, ready to go. So
you would have thought if it's not that, it would be a Premier League job, wouldn't you?
Definitely. That's what I think. Yeah, that is what I think.
Crystal Palace.
No, they're going all in for Nuno Espirito Santi. I just told you that. So
yeah, but I mean, you have told me that, but I wouldn't. I'm not thinking you as tier one Crystal Palace news, Dave.
No, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know about Eddie Howe. I just don't know where he'd go. Maybe Spurs.
Nope. Not happening. What about Man United? Are they sticking with Solskjaer?
He was getting a new contract, isn't he? So
crazy.
He's getting a new 3-year contract, which is 2 years. It's more than 2 years because 2 years would be, well, we don't think you're doing that good a job and we can sack you and not pay you too much.
Yeah. And 3 years is confidence, isn't it?
And he's not getting 4 years, which is we know that you're doing really well and you're building this whole project. He's getting 3 years, which is, you know, if he does another year, it's enough they can pay him off and not pay too much. So, yeah, it's not like the ludicrous six seasons contract for David Moyes that he got. So,
or was it 7 years, Alan Pardew?
Oh yeah, 7 years Alan Pardew, Newcastle.
7 years of Alan Pardew, that sounds like a death sentence.
Yeah.
So of the I don't know if you've been taken in touch with the absolute circus surrounding Spurs managerial appointment. Mainly, I'd thought propped up by gossip columns, rather than any kind of indecision behind the scenes. I think it was made to make it look a lot worse than it is. Where do you think that Spurs are going to be currently ending up with manager? Who is it going to be?
I can't. At the moment, Poch. I don't know why I'm getting drawn in by all the chat about Poch coming back.
There's a thing that goes often, not formally, but I guess Spurs player will sometimes do an Instagram live thing where on video.
Yeah.
And so many times, Dele Alli's done it a couple of times, and touch your hat if Harry Kane's staying. And we won yesterday and Don Belly was down and someone said, touch your hat if Pochettino is going to come back. And he properly goes for a big old hat touch. So that's the current in the know for Spurs managers. So yeah, Pochettino's back.
But you're not a fan, are you? You're not a fan of Poch coming back?
So I can
rephrase that. I can rephrase it. You weren't a fan when I texted you earlier on in the week.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, he wouldn't be my first choice. I mean, it would point to something changing because his tenure at Spurs came to a bit of a sad end because I think rumours has he wanted to sell Dyer and Alderweireld after the Champions League final. He wanted to overhaul the squad. And since when he left to now, there's very little change in that squad, very little movement. So him coming in would point to the fact that maybe that would be approved and there would be finally let's have this clear out, let's go for it. And it would be very akin to his first stint in charge. I think after 12 months in his first stint at Tottenham, he'd got rid of 90% of the squad he inherited. And so he's more than capable of doing that and doing that to a high standard. But I just feel it's too soon. And I feel like he won't be able to shift all he wants to shift. And he'll still have some deserters in the camp and it won't be quite the match made in heaven.
It feels like it's just too soon from a PSG point of view. 6 months, isn't it? He's been there.
Yeah, and Poch has always dreamed of a Real Madrid job. That has been his. That's where I always thought it would be PSG and Real Madrid. I thought he would take, and I think there's some rumor of falling out of Leonardo, which is what Thomas Tuchel happened to Thomas Tuchel.
Yeah.
I mean, his leaving didn't exactly harm him. Yeah, I would if all was well at PSG, you would have thought it's too early for him to leave. But if not, all isn't well, and he doesn't have a decisions he can't make the decisions he wants to make, then you can see why someone would want out.
Yeah, generally, I always think with managers, there's a bit more like no smoke without fire sort of thing. Like with players, there's just numerous rumours that are nothing, absolutely nothing generally.
Absolutely, and Poch doesn't have an agent. He does not have an entourage, and so I don't think there's anyone peddling him to Real Madrid for any other reason. And there's something there, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough. What else has caught your eye in the news? Moving on then from managers.
Well, last week obviously did a pre-season finale, so we came to the end of the Premier League season. Leicester getting, I mean, as everyone predicted, getting smashed by Spurs on the last day, which felt nice. To be honest with you, it gave me hope going at the end of the season. I was like, this is just quite a nice result for us. And Leicester were just bang average. Jamie Vardy, the master of winning penalties, basically drags, holds Davinson Sanchez's arm and kicks Alderweireld. He is excellent at that. But they didn't create much else on Spurs. Managed to beat Leicester didn't qualify for Champions League, and to rub salt into the wounds, obviously, spoiler alert, Chelsea didn't even need it. They qualified by other means, which we'll touch on later.
Yeah.
Kane winning the Coca-Cola Zero Sugar Golden Boot as well as Playmaker Award was a nice touch as well at the end.
Yeah, he got both of them. Is it a first or has it happened before or? You know?
I think it might have happened before. Before it was, I don't think there was previously an award for Playmaker. I think Andy Cole got it when he was at Newcastle, but that was in a 42-game season, so it's still got to be top of the pile, but it's a slightly different format. What else happened? Final day. It was. We went to outside of Premier League. We had Lille. Lille lifted their league title.
Yeah, very nice, very good for them. Beating PSG with a win. We had the La Liga going to the final day with both Real Madrid and Atletico Madrid going behind, and then both coming back to win 2-1. And Luis Suarez doing all of the, you showed me disrespect by not keeping me, and now look what I've gone and done. Which is, I don't like the guy, but that is quite funny. So
yeah. Back in the Premier League of Everton. Just slipping back into old Everton. Was it 5-0? They lost 4-0 against City on the last day, was it? And we're just back into 10th position. Spurs, obviously, I suppose, news is qualifying for the Conference League. They are the inaugural losing finalists of the Europa Conference League. How
do you feel about that? Is it going to purely be like another League Cup where you just play a reserve team and youngsters and?
I would imagine. It hasn't decided. There's qualifying rounds and things like that, but we have to do a playoff. But I imagine, looking at the standard of sides in it, I mean, I think we're going to be okay for a group stage and maybe knock a first kind of knockout round. I mean, it would be absolute disgrace if we don't get to the final of that. Yeah,
but that's what I mean. Shouldn't you be looking at that and going, that's the monkey off the back cup to go and win? Yeah, but I always like it. I think that it would take a portion of a monkey off the back. Even winning the League Cup, it would have taken a little bit of the monkey off. Maybe winning both would have taken the full monkey off, but I think it's half a monkey, top half maybe. Okay.
With legs wrapped around.
Okay. What a weird analogy you went with there. Unbelievable. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Ross is saying that Dane Scarlett will score the winner in the final of the Conference League.
Dane Scarlett we would never put faith in him in the final. Hopefully he'll get some time and score some goals leading up to it. That'd be nice to see.
Yeah.
We get some youth players blooded. That'd be good.
Nice. And then obviously news around the English leagues. So Brentford are up in the Premier League, which is what we both wanted,
yes.
I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, we did both want. They are now the 50th team to feature. Will be a 50th team to feature in the Premier League. It'd be nice to see them. Out of the forwards, who's your favourite forward? Brentford, Watford, Bradford. Who's your favourite?
I'm I did have a soft spot for Bradford when they were in the Premier League.
Did you?
Well,
I think they're the dirtiest of the bunch. They're
Like
kind
Stuart
of
McCall, though, when the video where he kept them up as player manager and then got drunk.
The car, yeah.
Stacks it off the car.
Benito Carboni at Bradford was quite nice. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
I hope Brentford do well. I think they'll be a straight up, straight down team. I think most people will think that, and I think that as well.
Well, we'll see when we'll touch on later how Dave's predictions went this season. So don't read too much into that, guys.
Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, I don't know. It's good to see a different team come up. According to it was Watford and Norwich that came up as well.
The old yo-yos. I mean, it was close to if Bournemouth. Was that going to be right? If Bournemouth had won, it would have been a clean sweep.
It would have been.
One would have been the first time ever back the 3 relegated, 3 promoted, which would have been boring as.
Yeah, it would. Do you reckon Watford and Norwich have learnt any lessons from last time, and they'll Norwich? I guess this is more aimed at make a bit more of a fist of it.
I think Norwich's time it depends on who they sell this summer, because I think you got Max Aarons, Emi Buendia. Probably the main 2, maybe Todd Cantwell as well, but I think he will stay. Will depend on how that goes, if they're going to stay up. But last season was blighted by defensive injuries, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they were a little bit unlucky in terms of the defensive injuries.
Yeah, and Timu Puki's broken toe. I think injuries kind of hampered them then. But I don't think they will learn, because I don't think they want to learn. I don't think they're going to change their approach. They will do as well as they can do, spending as much as they want to spend rather than what they could spend. And if they go up, if they stay up, great. If they go down, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay.
That's the way that Norwich approach it. Watford, we'll see which. Well, I mean, we have first manager to be sacked. I think you might as well add. You got Watford back in the league now, so you can just choose a Watford manager for a dead cert.
Yeah, probably. And I think it's going to be a Troy Deeney-less Watford, isn't it? He's leaving.
Is he?
I'm pretty sure it's confirmed he's now leaving end of the season. I think end of contract. So.
Oh.
Unless something's changed in the last few weeks that I haven't seen, but the last thing I heard was that, his contract was expiring, he wasn't going to get a new one. So,
I've just had a memory this morning where a dream I had last night involved Troy Deeney, and I can't remember much more than that, but it was all above board. But Troy Deeney was running along somewhere with a camera. As I said, all above board, but he was definitely featured in a dream last night, which is probably going to scar me for the rest of his podcast episode, actually. So you might have to hold the reins here.
Yeah. So, okay, well, should we leave the news there? Because obviously, as I said, we've got plenty to get on with. So let's move to the quiz first, Josh. So,
ooh la 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 la, ooh la 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 la, ooh la 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 la. It's quizzing time.
The full song, the full intro.
Full song, yeah. I think it's been too long since the full song was rolled out, so I thought I'd give the fans what they wanted. I've been getting text messages, tweets, Instagrams, emails, even a letter through my door asking for the full song. So I thought I'd oblige. This quiz is called Spanish Managers. Play on words. It's basically a list of the 12 Spanish managers to manage in Premier League. I've given Dave the club that they've managed, or clubs. I just need Dave to tell me who they are.
Okay.
I mean, remember last week? Last week didn't go too well for Dave. It was somewhat. Last week was the French players bought from Ligue 1 last summer or in January, and I mean it was
horrendous. It was horrendous.
Quite a sad sight. So I think this is probably more on Dave can cope. If Dave's going to pass this, it's just going to be, can he get 100%, I think is a question.
I don't think I'm going to get 100%, because I think there's already one in there that I'm struggling to think of already.
Okay.
And, have you got a manager in there that should have 3 clubs, but he's actually
he's
answer 3 and 8.
I should have had a third club there, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Okay. Number 1, an Arsenal manager who is Spanish, is Mikel Arteta.
Correct.
Number 2 is everyone's favourite vampire, Unai Emery.
Yes, the Europa League champ.
Like, hands down Europa League champ, Unai Emery.
Yeah.
So, number 3, which should be Chelsea, Liverpool and Newcastle, is Rafa Benitez.
Correct. That's already bringing me quiz into disrepute. If Dave doesn't score 100%, he's going to be like, what?
Question
then, so is that bit.
Number 7 is no longer valid because that was Rafa Benitez?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know why it's happened, Dave? It's because there was a spelling mistake. Now, I have a conditional formatting in my Excel spreadsheet, but there's a spelling mistake on the Rafa Benitez in that, and so it didn't link it. So,
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Number 4, Everton. Now I sort of feel this is another one where he's managed 2 clubs. And
my goodness, Dave! This is a poor quiz.
Is it number 4 and number 12? Roberto Martinez.
Yes, yeah. Oh, Dave, I'm very sorry, Dave.
You should be. That's all right, mate. We'll let you off. You put a lot of hard work into your quizzes, so we'll let you off.
Evidently.
Number 5, Man City is Pep Guardiola.
Yes.
Now, number 6 is the one that I wasn't sure about, but I think I've just got it while I was answering the other questions. I'm going to go with Aitor Karanka.
It is Aitor Karanka, yes.
Yeah. Number 8, Tottenham Hotspur.
Yes.
Juan de Ramos.
London club. Oh, goodness. Momentary thought gets it.
Watford.
We've just spoken about their penchant for sacking managers, so they've been through a few.
They have been through a few. And they always hire like not really well known people.
No, they do the rounds. They're somewhat journeyman managers, I'd say.
I'll come back to both the Watford ones. I'm struggling there. I have to think about 11, West Brom. Oh my God.
This wasn't a successful spelling charge.
West Brom, Spanish manager. I mean, I've passed, haven't I? I've got the pass mark, so.
Oh, well, by far, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. West Brom and Watford. West Brom, Spanish manager for West Brom.
I think this West Brom manager, it was his only venture outside of Spain, so that tells you how well it went. He even went back to the club he left.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Please take me home. Oh, God. They kept talking about Big Sam.
Is he a well-known manager, though?
I wouldn't say so, no. He's not we all know him. You definitely know his name when I say it, but...
Okay, I'm going to go back to Watford because I think it's Javi Garcia or Garcia.
Javi Gracia is one of them, yes.
And I think I'm going to struggle with the others. Watford. I want to say it was like Hisco something. XISCO something. No? For Watford?
No.
And I'm gonna.
You giving up?
I'm gonna give up on Watford. West Brom. I think I'm gonna have a stab in the dark. Oh, Watford. I'm not giving up on Watford. I'll take the half a point. Quique Sanchez Flores.
There you go.
Oh, damn it! I knew it was in there somewhere.
You're half a point away from it. If you get this, you'd have been only misstep.
West Brom, Spanish manager. Javier Hill. It is something Hill, isn't it? It's something.
It's not far from Hill, but if I said to you,
pass.
But it's Pepe Mel.
Oh, Mel. Pepe Mel. Wow, that is a name that I had forgotten.
There's not really much to say about him, to be honest with you. He's very similar to Steve Bruce because Mel is also a novelist, having published 3 books: Liar, The Road to the Afterlife, and The Test. That's
wow.
That's interesting.
Road to the Afterlife sounds depressing.
It doesn't it? A 17.65% win rate, so you can understand why he soon abandoned ship because it went Betis 43%, West Brom 18% rounded up, and Betis 46%. So he likes Betis.
Yeah, definitely.
Not like
Pepe Mel. I forgot about him. Yeah, forgot all about Pepe Mel. Good quiz. I like that one. So I was better at it. So
you were very good at it. Yeah, 85%. Well done.
Excellent. Good. And I pointed a few errors out with the formatting of it. So.
Right, yeah.
All right, let's move on then, Josh, and we'll go into the reviews. We'll start with One of the weirdest penalty shootouts I've ever, or one of the most emphatic penalty shootouts I've ever seen.
Yeah, so this is the Europa League final, the Diego Forlan derby. And for those who have not yet seen the score, it was 1-1 after extra time, and Villarreal won on penalties. But as Dave said, it was beautiful symmetry. All 22 players got to take a penalty, and 21 of those players scored them. One player missed, and that was David De Gea, who had the worst penalty shootout you could have as a goalkeeper, I'd say.
Yeah, conceding 11 shots. 11 penalties, conceding 11 penalties, and then missing your penalty.
Yeah, to lose it with a decisive penalty. Yeah, he can't get much worse, honestly.
No, it was.
Let's talk about the game before that, though, Dave.
Yeah,
so,
all right.
We had 120 minutes of football, and I was quite surprised how awful Man United were.
I think it's the same old that we've had. Whenever we come up against a team that played 2 complete banks of 4 or everyone in their own half, and we don't have that. If you stifle Bruno Fernandes or he has an off day, then you've got no creativity. You're relying on someone to do a piece of magic, whether it's Rashford's shot from range that goes in or a lucky deflection, which is actually how we scored because it was a Rashford shot from range that deflected into the path of Cavani. It was just. Unai Emery came and Villarreal came with a game plan, and it worked marvellously. I think the only thing that went wrong with that game plan is they conceded. I thought they were playing for a set-piece goal. That was their only shot on target pretty much in the whole game that I can really remember, or that caused any real trouble. We didn't really threaten. We couldn't break them down. Like, there was one point where I think it was beginning of the second half, we, for some reason, unbeknown to man, still decided to play from the goalkeeper short passes to the centre-backs in the area. And Villarreal, as soon as that pass was done, Villarreal just literally turned around and ran to their own half. And their strikers were like 60 yards away from our goal. And so even when they got the ball, they couldn't counter-attack, but they didn't care. That wasn't their game plan. Their game plan was to sit back and defend and go to extra time.
I mean, somewhat mirrored by the Champions League final. Just to briefly touch on that, the winning side had an effective and simple game plan.
Yep.
And it worked really well. Whereas the Manchester side was left a bit flailing, really.
Yep. Yeah. I can't.
I would. Yeah.
There's things.
It's the lack of positional attacking play which infuriates me. I mean, United have scored some lovely goals this season, but it's when you've been left space to do stuff with.
Yeah.
And there's a point in, I don't know, I think it was the second half where Bailly and Lindelof were just passing the ball between them, and they must have passed it between them about 5 times.
Yeah.
It was just lost. It was just like, oh god, this is.
I feel like with United, it's if there isn't this, like you're saying, if there isn't the space for us to attack into, and we've got to go and break a team down, I think what happens is we have a plan of how to attack a team like that, but it's so rigid that people run to those positions, and then we're just left passing the ball between people because there's no space to actually get the ball to those people, and it's very annoying to see. I feel like it's a classic case of there's no plan B. There was just no plan B.
I mean, yeah, there's so much so there's no plan B, but no substitutions were made by Ole until extra time. It's like he's making. Yeah. It's like he was making penalty substitutions, but he didn't make the main one. He should have taken De Gea off.
Wow, I think hindsight's a wonderful thing. To look at it and say he should have taken De Gea off and brought on Henderson. I think the stats have now come out before that. He would have known the stats. I feel like. I don't think Ollie's that sort of manager.
It's a ballsy move, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's often was it Van Gaal who made it?
Yeah, he brought on Tim Krul in the Euros or the World Cup.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a ballsy move, but I like the move, to be honest with you, especially when there's such a stark difference between the penalty saving rates. So like Henderson's got a 42% save rate, De Gea 17%, and De Gea has not saved one since was it FA Cup final 15-16 against Everton against Lukaku.
I feel like it's if you've got the balls to do it as a manager, it's a very good unnerving. It's a very good tactic to make to unnerve the penalty takers of the other team because they're
it'll breed confidence in your own Like,
Yeah.
if the keeper thinks he's good at penalties, you bring him in the biggest occasion to save penalties, great. The players around your own players go, oh yeah, we've got the pro in now, this is great. And then the other side was like, oh my goodness, they brought the pro in. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but what we don't know is that potentially in training on, Tuesday night, where they're having a bit of a lighter training session, they finish with penalties to get some practice in. De Gea may have saved 10 out of 10. You just don't know.
I think we all know that.
Yeah, I think we all know that's unlikely. But yeah, I think, and then you look at the, whether it was a bold choice from Ole to say this is a message to the owners that we need reinforcements and I'm not going to make any subs because I don't think any of them can make a difference, or whether he
was on your bench, wasn't there? There's a fair amount of money on your bench, wasn't there?
Yeah, Dan James, Van der Beek, Juan Mata, as the attacking players. They were the main sort of ones. And then I just thought, if you can't, if they're not coming out of their shell to allow you to counter-attack, that's when you can bring on the slower players that can have the passing ability to unlock a defence with Cavani's runs and things like that, or just change it up and go to a 4-4-2. Shove Rashford up front with Cavani and tell him to stay central. Bring on Juan Mata and potentially Van der Beek. And
that miss from Rashford didn't have the greatest of games.
He was well offside. He was well offside for that. Offside, yeah, I'm pretty sure he was well offside. And that's the thing. Rashford had a shocker. Should have come off. Definitely should have come off in the 90 minutes, let alone in extra time, and then let alone stay on. Yeah, he's a penalty taker, but you shouldn't be. I just feel like Man United shouldn't have been looking at that game going, we need to save our subs to bring on penalty takers. We should have made the sub to try and change the game.
No, it doesn't make sense to do that. No.
Yeah, and I think, credit to Villarreal. They came with the game plan. It worked really well, and Emre's weird connection with the Europa League carries on. What records 4 times now? 2 different clubs? Sevilla and Villarreal? 3 times with Sevilla?
He got to the final with Arsenal, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I think his worst season was when he was Valencia manager, when he had like a ridiculous amount of talent. He must have had, we had David Silva at the time, and goodness knows who else. But
the game was pretty boring in general. It was us trying to attack against the low block, and we couldn't get through it, so there was no real chances of note. Villarreal not doing very much. I mean, that Moreno guy looks useful. I'd be very surprised if they hold on to him in the summer. He's had a very good season for them. I think only outscored or out assisted by Messi in the La Liga this year or something.
First player to score 30 goals for Villarreal since. Favourite of yours?
Hey, what?
First Villarreal player to score 30 goals in a season since who?
Diego Forlan?
No, Giuseppe Rossi.
Oh, Giuseppe Rossi. Oh yeah. Awesome. I miss Giuseppe Rossi. What a player.
Yeah. Well, let's move. I don't want to dwell on such a sad time for you, Dave. It was a pretty very disappointing end to the season, which had been pretty good. I mean, you rated it B?
It's been a great. Yeah, I said it would be a B+ if we won the Europa League. I think the one positive as a United fan you can take out of not winning the Europa League is the fact that there's now no papering over the cracks. Like, you know what I mean? If we had won the Europa League...
I felt like the FA Cup did for Arsene Wenger's Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And now we haven't won it. There's no way you can come out of this saying this is a positive season. It's progression, but it's not the positive it could have been. It's not the positive it could have been, and that's because of a lack of depth in the squad, or, not the right players to bring on, or too much dead wood, or something like that. And you could very much throw in an argument to there to say not the right manager, but technically he's got a second in the league and to a cup final, so... You've got to give him a bit more time, but yeah. Anyway, let's move on. Let's not dwell on that.
So then last night we had the Champions League final. Obviously, all English, City v Chelsea. City's first final. Chelsea's, was it going to be third final?
Third, in our lifetime, third, yeah.
And we just mentioned around the one side having a cohesive plan, and I think Tuchel's Chelsea were set up magnificently. But the side that Pep put out, it just reeks of him overthinking it. And to be honest with you, I can understand why he's overthinking it. He's come up against Chelsea recently and failed with the Fernandinho, with Rodri in midfield, so neither of them took part. And also Zinchenko playing at left back. Those 2 decisions for me is mind-boggling.
The Zinchenko thing, I can sort of understand because he's rotated him in quite a lot in the league and he has used him. He does seem to trust him, and I think he's more versatile than Cancelo in the sense that Zinchenko was naturally a central midfielder and has gone back to fullback. And I think, we know Pep likes to overload central midfield and stuff like that, but not picking Rodri or Fernandinho is the weird one.
Just quickly on Cancelo. Cancelo would have been moving into absolute noise because the space wasn't really anywhere.
Yeah.
But it definitely wasn't that progression into a central midfield. So I don't think he would have made too much difference. But yeah, it was. I mean, the goal, lovely turn and pass by Mason Mount.
Yeah.
I mean, Ederson does not help us. Ederson, he's lucky it went in.
Yeah.
Honestly. Because if he gets a better touch now, he handballs it and he's sent off after 45, 43 minutes.
Yeah.
And he just comes flying out of this goal. He's literally, I don't think there's any thought to it apart from I'm getting out of this goal as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And it was embarrassing. But a Fernandinho or Rodri in there, I don't think that pass is allowed to be made as easy.
That's what I think. I think if there's two things there, because I feel like if you've got a holding midfielder in there in the shape of Rodri or Fernandinho, it stops that potentially through ball from happening. Obviously, you don't know for certain, this is where it does come back to the Zinchenko thing. Is that Zinchenko? If you watch the replay where it has the camera from like the side of the pitch, like as close as you can get to 90 degrees on, like looking straight at the back line, Zinchenko is playing. Look, he looks across the line as he's tracking the run of Kai Havertz, and looks like he's going to. And then steps up as if to play an offside trap as the pass is made, but he starts off
going with him and then doesn't, and just ends up being a few yards away from him, which is of absolutely no use to anyone. Then stops when Ederson comes running out.
And I think that's when that first couple of yards that he loses to Havertz is when he's trying to play an offside trap, because he can see the pass coming and he can see Kai Havertz making the run. But what I don't understand is that he can also see the City centre back, who I think was Diaz.
Was ahead of him.
Was ahead of him, was further towards his own goal. So I just couldn't. I just didn't get it.
But, I mean, shout out to there's so many Chelsea players had magnificent games, and I think particularly at fullback, James and Chilwell.
Reece James, it's changed my opinion. He should go. Take him to the Euros.
Yeah, that for me. So you think the defensive side of things, and he didn't get to show it in this game, but attackingly he's excellent. But that was fantastic from both of them. Mahrez and Sterling got. I mean, there's a couple of points where Mahrez got away from James, and if Sterling was in a confident mood, he may have done better. So one where he turned him and ran behind him, and his touch went across and James challenged him, and one where he went round the outside of him, but again, James got back. But James got back both those times. It was excellent from him. But it was. I mean, I imagine City fans are feeling very disheartened with that. But shout out to N'Golo Kante. My goodness, he is just obscene. And I wanted to give credit here to Maurizio Sarri, because he is still playing with that additional freedom that he offered him. And he put him further up the pitch and just let him kind of sniff out anything. Like he would just go, he would just be around and like a little fly buzzing around. You don't know which angle he's going to come from, but he'd dispossess you, he'd give an interception, and he'd move forward. And it's a hybrid about it. So it isn't quite when he was in that pure defensive midfielder. It isn't quite when he was basically playing a high-pressing attacking midfielder. He just does stuff, right? He's just box to box.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think he's now playing as sort of like a box-to-box destroyer, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
He's running from box to box, just breaking up play and giving it to someone else, and just continually doing it all the time. And yeah, when the Chelsea players, let him lift the trophy on the side of the pitch and then lifted him up in the air, it was just...
I think
so good to see.
He was man of match in this match and man of match in the semi-finals. So what do you reckon if he wins the Euros with France, Ballon d'Or?
I still can't look past Lewandowski. I think if Lewandowski has a decent Euros, Poland not being one of the top nations, I think if he scores 3 or 4 goals in the group stage, and if Poland get through and he does well in the first knockout round or something, I still look at Lewandowski just for the insane goals to minutes ratio.
It is an individual award. I mean,
yeah.
Kante's had a good season, but it was an excellent. He's just been excellent in the semi-finals and final. And what would you reckon, Frank? Yeah, so maybe it's a maybe. I
think he will only win Ballon d'Or if France win the Euros. And there's a lot of ifs in there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Whereas Lewandowski, I think with Poland could be absolutely turd and everyone would just be like, well, that's Poland. It's not Lewandowski's fault. And I feel like My 1 and 2 has to be Lewandowski and Kante, one way around or the other. I think it has to be. So ridiculous, but
we forget Kane. Kane's going to actually win it because England are going to win the Euros.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take that because it means England have won the Euros, so that's not a problem.
Yeah. Penny for Frank Lampard's thoughts. Happy?
I think he'll be happy. Yeah, I think the Chelsea fans will appreciate what Frank Lampard did before Tuchel came in. I think Frank Lampard set a bit of a foundation for it. Like, not ultimately brilliantly, but I think he did get that team playing well. He brought in decent players that have made a difference in Havertz, and Werner definitely could have done better. But
Werner could have done better, but he's integral to how that game went.
Yeah,
he could. I mean, if he could finish, Chelsea would have blitzed it. He had a couple of chances early on, but he creates space. He's always willing to put himself in. He's not shying away from anything. But he's more to a striker than scoring goals, and it's probably the hardest part. But he definitely doesn't lack in any of the other areas. He was a thorn in Man City's side constantly.
I still think next season he'll have a really good season. Next season, Timo Werner.
He may do. Yeah, it's not beyond him to have. It's not like he can't do it.
Yeah, exactly.
He can get the 20 goals a season. It's never going to be every season.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good way to summarise it up. Yeah. So, I think there will be a lot of thanks to Lampard, and I think Lampard will be generally quite happy. I think he is a bit of a Chelsea fan anyway, obviously playing so much for the club and managing them. So, yeah, I think he'll be happy, and I think the fans will be happy for what Frank did. And it just goes to show again, doesn't it? PSG sacking a manager that didn't quite do as well as they hoped to, then goes to another club.
Leonardo letting Thiago Silva go because I think he didn't do a job, and both of them go back to win the Champions League this season.
Yeah.
Concern for Belgium, maybe. I fear that there may be a bit of quite bad injury to Kevin De Bruyne from getting up there. My least favourite player is Rudiger. I know he didn't intend to do what he did, but professional foul and all, and there's more to it. He's got some history as Rudiger of some nastiness, but I'd be a bit concerned as a Belgian fan because De Bruyne was down for a while and immediately had a flare up with his eye, and
I guess that's all. If it's sort of a concussion injury, that's when you're going to be worried. It's more if there's no concussion, then it's just swelling and it just goes down. So. Unless obviously something's happened quite badly to the eye socket, like Paul Scholes, running into a training pole or whatever it was that Paul Scholes did. But Rudiger has that side to him, but I really like Rudiger as a defender. I think he's really good. I think he's really come into his own. He's not. I think it's the levels of like Sergio Ramos sort of shithousery, to use a
he's got
better
some shithousery in him. Yeah.
So I quite like Rudiger. I don't.
But well done Chelsea and well done Villarreal. That'll be a Super League Super Cup matchup.
It will, yeah, wouldn't it? I forgot about that. Yeah. So Chelsea Unai Emery it'll be two defensive managers against each other. Weirdly, two more defensive managers. So it'll be interesting to see how that game goes. Yeah, it'll be very interesting. Does Man City losing put the price of Harry Kane up? Can Daniel Levy now charge a little bit more? Question from the comments.
I don't think there's a top end to what Levy would be thinking, but I honestly can't see him going. I can't see Harry Kane going.
Yeah, I will say that. Josh and I were chatting just before the podcast, and Josh is now sort of flip-flopped a little bit, and he doesn't see Harry Kane leaving now. So.
And if Pep Guardiola did have Harry Kane for that final, he probably wouldn't have played him. He'd probably still played a false nine. He probably would have kept him on the bench. I mean, Aguero getting 10, 15 minutes. Harry Kane is too expensive for what City's taste is. I think it's too expensive for everyone's taste.
All right, fair enough then. Well, let's move on to what are we going on to? The predictions review. Let's go.
Yeah. My prediction of Harry Kane not moving. Let's talk about what predictions we made at the start of the season, do we?
Yeah, let's go for it. So we'll start with the aforementioned European competitions, Champions League. So, Josh, you actually had Man City to win the Champions League.
I did have Man City to win. They've been pushing so close previous years. I thought this is going to be finally their year. And we were I was halfway there, halfway right, and we were losing finalists. You went for Bayern.
Well, I went with Bayern, and I still stand by the fact that if Lewandowski hadn't got his injury, they would have won it. So,
but
ultimately, well off.
So I have gone through and kind of attempt to award points here for
Yeah.
in this section. If you had a losing finalist, you got half a point. If you got a full win at the actual thing, you got a 1 point. And in the league prediction, we did a full table. If you get it bang on, you get 1 point. If you're one adrift, you get half a point. I don't know how you feel about those as being.
Yeah, I quite like that idea. Yeah, I quite like it. So yeah, it's good. So you got half a point for Champions League. I got zilch because Lewandowski got injured. Europa League, Villarreal actually won it, as we talked about. You went for Spurs, which I think
I did go for Spurs. I thought, Mourinho in charge, loves to win trophies. Did not predict such an abject performance against Dynamo Zagreb. 0 point for me.
I went for Roma, who actually we knocked out quite convincingly.
You got on the side. I mean, which would you rather? Would you rather have lost to Roma and Roma won it, or would you rather what happened?
Well, I'd rather what happened because I wanted us to get to the final.
Still rather be losing finalists?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
That's
right,
not too
0
bad.
points for us on the Europa League.
Interesting there. We've gone from, without knowing it, obviously you picked Spurs' Matt Mourinho, Spurs' old club.
Yes.
Spurs' old club? Sorry, you picked Spurs, Mourinho's old club. And I've picked Roma, who was Mourinho's new club. What's wrong with me today?
Yes,
I
mean, to link it back further, I chose Man City, Pep's current club. You chose Bayern, Pep's old club.
Exactly.
Links everywhere.
FA Cup, it was Leicester that won it. Beating Chelsea in the final, which were my prediction. I said Chelsea would win it, so I do get half a point for the Chelsea prediction. You went with Spurs.
Again, I was hoping for trophies anywhere, really.
Yeah.
But again, it did not come to fruition. We got knocked out, I think, by Everton in extra time with Bernard and Richarlison scoring goals, which was, again, disappointing.
Yes. League Cup, though, you predicted Man City, and Man City went and won it. So
yeah, they take it seriously. They mean business in the League Cup, don't they? Pep has no problem turning in good performances there.
Yeah. Would you have preferred to get 0 points and Spurs win it?
Yes, I would have done. Yes.
Yeah. I predicted Arsenal, so I got zilch. Absolutely rubbish.
Yeah.
So, surprise package. This was an interesting one.
Yeah. And we go both ways. A surprise package, maybe someone's fall from grace or someone's rise from the ashes. I think both of our sides, I'd say, performed bang on where you'd expect them to perform. Maybe.
Yeah.
So I chose Burnley, who finished, I think, 1 point above relegation, which is about as Burnley as it gets.
And I picked Everton, and I thought I was going to be onto a flyer with, like...
they were top of the table to begin with, were they?
Yeah.
Like 3 wins out of 3 or something to begin with.
Yeah. But they ended up finishing in 10th, so yeah, pretty much where you expect Everton to be. So.
But who would be, if you had to choose an actual for this, what would be your surprise package in reality?
West Ham. I think 100% for me. I think you've labelled a few in there, West Ham, Leeds, Villa, but I think West Ham has got to be the ultimate. Like, so close to Champions League football and tailed off in the last 3 games of the season, was it? 3 or 4 games of the season? I think West Ham would be my surprise package, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Then we have the first manager sacked. I'd gone for, after what we just mentioned, I went for David Moyes. He proved me very wrong.
He did. I went for Steve Bruce, who looked like he was going to get sacked and then pulled it out the bag.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for a lack of talk. At least that one had a lot of talk around him getting sacked. David Moyes, I don't think was ever really... I mean, first game of the season when adrift to West Ham, but then they really... I think it all turned when David Moyes... Didn't he get COVID at one point and couldn't attend a game?
He did, yeah.
And
Alan Irvine.
Alan Irvine stepped in and they suddenly started performing. I think we'll put it down to that. But... Slaven Bilic was in reality his first manager to get sacked. Then only 4 managers in total got sacked throughout the league. Lampard, we mentioned earlier, Chris Wilder, and also Mourinho, we mentioned. So it wasn't sack happy, but it's now very much a lot of movement. We talked about earlier in the news, a lot of managers moving around. Yeah, definitely.
Golden Boot. I picked Aguero, so let's deal with that. That's done. He was 4 goals.
4 goals because he got 2 in his last game. He was up until about April time hadn't got a goal, so that was progressing pretty well for Dave.
Brilliant.
And to be honest with you, my one of Aubameyang wasn't great either. I know I need to just stick to what I know and choose Harry Kane each year.
Yeah. At least yours got double figures. So
yes, that is true.
So and then we went on to predicting our league table. So we'll condense it so we don't go through all the positions. So top 4. I predicted Man City, so I got a point for that because they finished first. And then I predicted Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United. I got half a point for Liverpool because they finished third and I predicted them second. And I got half a point for Chelsea because they finished third and I predicted them fourth. And then...
Other way around, yeah.
Sorry, yeah. And then we
both had the same top three, didn't we?
Yeah.
So we both mirrored each other there.
Exactly, yeah. We mirrored each other there. And then
we actually had the same top four, in fact.
We did have the same top four because we both had Man United finishing fourth. I got half a point for Spurs because I predicted them to finish sixth and they got seventh. I'm going to sneeze, excuse me.
Oh, yeah, I was a bit more hopeful with a fifth place finish, and that puts me 2 adrift from where we actually finished, unfortunately. But I did fare okay with Everton and Leeds. I predicted Everton in 9th when I finished 10th, and Leeds I said 10th when I finished in 9th. So it got me half a point each. For the next point of any sort, we have to go all the way down to 15th place, where 14th place, Crystal Palace. Dave predicted them in 15th. Gives him half a point. So we are kind of neck and neck in the table in terms of points so far. 4 close and 1 bang on for the title. Yep. And then we again get a couple of in the bottom 4 correct. I predicted Burnley 17th correct, Fulham 18th correct. I did, however, have Aston Villa getting relegated in 19th place and West Brom in 20th is my prediction. But Dave managed to get Fulham correct like I did, and also predicted West Brom to finish 19th, which is what I did. But he went one worse and predicted Aston Villa bottom of the league.
Looking at that, the fact that we both predicted Aston Villa to get relegated, maybe they should be the surprise package of the season.
Yes, but in terms of the delta between where we predicted and where they ended up, we have 9 positions for Aston Villa, but your West Ham... West Ham's 10 positions, so yeah, that works.
Yeah, that's true.
They are better, yeah.
Very true. And if going on the points tally that you did, you edged the predictions by 1 point, 6.5 to 5.5.
What wins it is that bang on in the League Cup, basically.
Yeah.
Because we got the same amount in our league predictions. Dave got half point for FA Cup, I got half point for Champions League, but the Man City winning the League Cup, who'd have thought it, will bring me joy. It brought me joy in the end.
Yeah, in a roundabout way, it brings Josh a bit of joy with the predictions. But that's not all we predicted, was it? We put some pre-season bets on with our fun coupons.
Yes. Dave, take me through your 3 pre-season bets, please.
So, well, the one that's actually come in, and I won, was Chelsea to finish top 4, Man United to finish in the top 6, and Everton to finish in the top 10. And it's happened. So,
wasn't it? Chelsea flirting with it. Man United, that was a dead cert, and Everton sinking to it, really. Which won me, I think it was £4.30 off a pound.
Oh,
so, the fun you can have with that.
Exactly, the fun I can have with that. Then we don't have to talk about the next 2 that I put.
Yeah, let's go for. Let's get. David predicted Anthony Martial to score 18 or more goals in the Premier League.
Yeah.
In the Premier League, 18 goals. That is some going, Dave. How many did he? Do you know how much he got in the end?
I think he scored 2. I think it was 2 he scored in the Premier League because he missed most of it through injury. Maybe more.
No, he got 4, Dave.
Oh, he got 4. Double what I predicted then. I was only 14 short then for that one.
You went for 1 more than his previous season. So in 1920 he got 17. So you were going...
That was my logic. That was my logic as well when I was putting it on. And then I had KDB to score 6 or more goals from outside the box because I thought he'd get some free kicks and score lots of free kicks, which he didn't do. That didn't come in. He
only got 6 goals in total. I haven't checked how many were outside.
He missed quite a bit of the season as well through injuries. So, but ultimately, Josh, my bets did better than yours. So
you did win one. And so we just spoke about how I got joy from the League Cup final win. I did have Spurs to win a trophy. We were close, but losing finalist. I did come close again. I chose Man City first, Liverpool second. Liverpool ended up finishing third, but in all truth, it wasn't actually that close. And I also put a bet on my bottom 3. So Fulham, yes. West Brom, yes. But I had Villa in there. Villa ruined it. I was close, but no cigar. You don't get many fun coupons for being close, Dave.
You don't. You don't get any fun coupons for being close.
Okay.
And this can lead us on nicely, actually, to say that in the description of this video, or live on YouTube if you're watching now, in the description is the link to the Football Talk Euro 2020/2021 fantasy football. So if you want to get involved, the link is in the description below. Go and check it out. It'll be on the link in the description on Spotify as well. Come and join in. We're not giving fun coupons out for this, but it'll all just be a good laugh, and you can prove to us that you can predict things better than we did for the previous season. So yeah, it'll be good fun to see all of you in that. But Josh, shall we move on?
Let's do it, Dave.
Because I reckon I've got an absolute belter here as a wiki file. So I got a wiki file. Here comes a wiki file. I got a wiki file for you. Hey, right. There is a wiki file on the screen.
2 episodes of full songs. This is just 2 songs in the full episode. Oh my goodness, this is great.
Yeah, we know what you meant.
Yeah.
Say what you see, Josh, and struggle.
Okay. In 1991, this person spent a year with North Geelong Warriors.
Yes, he did.
Then a year, this is youth career, and then a season 92-93 of AIS, who I think are Swedish. I'm not entirely sure.
Pretty sure they are, yeah. Pretty sure they are.
But he then went, it was like, I love my time as a child at North Geelong Warriors. So in 94-95, performed in the league for North Geelong Warriors, 32 appearances, 8 goals. I don't have any idea where North Geelong Warriors. My first thought was Asia. But I have no idea if that's right. 95-99, we go to Hashtag Split. 97 appearances, 20 goals. So we're kind of goal-scoring midfielder or kind of very good defender. We then move. Hashtag Split, is that going to be Croatia?
That is Croatia, yeah.
Croatia, yeah. Then we move to Belgium, 4 seasons, 99-03. 100 appearances, 8 goals for Genk. Here comes a side who I'm going to pronounce horrifically. In 2003-2005, 58 appearances, 4 goals for Gençlerbirliği. It looks Turkish.
It is Turkish, yeah.
Gençlerbirliği. Okay, so I've got Belgium, I've got Turkey, I've got Croatia, I've got maybe a Swedish youth career, I've got maybe in my head an Asian starting in my professional career, but we then venture to the north of England, have a Premier League career, 2005-2008, well, I presume is under Roberto Martinez, 45 appearances, 0 goals. Stoke City, like you like being up in places where no one else wants to live. You go to Stoke City, 9 appearances, 2 goals. That's the end of your time in England. You move back to Hashtag Split, 52 appearances, 1 goal. You maybe are somewhat of a legend there. And then you finish your career to another continent. You go to a year, 2010-2011, Melbourne Heart, 22 appearances, 0 goals. Resulting in a goal every 10 games, broadly, 43 goals in 415 appearances. I just had someone pop into my head. And
if you've got this, I'm going to be well annoyed.
And it was a Swedish centre-back.
Right.
And I'm trying to remember his name. It's
well, in the comments, literally, I've had to Google it.
That's what the comment is.
That's the comments. The live comments are saying I've had to Google this.
Now,
I'm very proud of this one. His Premier League is all Wigan.
All Wigan.
Yeah.
And I've just got a feeling this is this Swedish centre back, and obviously Dave could obviously be laughing here. I can't see it because he might know Swedish or a centre back. So I mean, I'll go through emotions. Dave, can I have international career?
International career, yes, you can. He has 11 caps and 3 goals for the Australia under-20s team. Right. He has 3 appearances and 0 goals for the Australia under-23 team. And he has 51 appearances, 9 goals for the Australia national team. So okay, he is not Swedish.
Not Swedish centre back. And to complete the set, what position are we talking here, Dave?
He is a central midfielder. And I can agree with Wikipedia when it says central midfielder.
Central midfielder, Australian, playing for Wigan.
The next comment is, where the hell did you get this player from?
Now, I'm thinking... I mean, I can't get Hayden Fox out of my head, and I know it's not, but I've got a central midfielder, Australian.
So you've basically, your knowledge to go on is Australian central midfielder who played for Wigan under Roberto Martinez for 3 years in the Premier League.
Yes. So would he have been in the same side as what's his name? It was a Spanish left-footed guy who was. Oh, this isn't helping. This is showing I can't remember.
Now you're trying to think of another person.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't like not getting things. Can you give me any other clue? Anything else to refine this?
This player has been described as a central midfielder with superb on-ball ability, inch-perfect passing, and has the ability to turn defence to attack in an instant. And also, you'll like this because it's a bit of a bookend. He's currently director of football at North Geelong Warriors.
Who are an Australian side, I'm imagining.
Who are Australian, yeah. Semi-professional Australian side.
Can you give me any physical appearance? Any notable physical appearance? I've got a bald person in my head at the moment.
Not bald.
Not bald.
Was it Aaron Moy?
It's something similar to that, yeah.
A bit rangy, but like leggy, but not tall. He was 5'10", so he's shorter than Eric Bailly. Like Eric Bailly. He's shorter than Eric Bailly. Shorter than Christian Daly. But yeah, I think he looked taller than he was. Yeah, well, he looked taller. He looked taller. What else can I give you? He has what's in his personal. Well, he doesn't have his personal one is that he's currently director of football at North Geelong Warriors. So,
all right, the final throw of dice is initials, then Dave, and I have to give up.
His initials are JS. I think I've got him. I think I finally got him.
I mean, JS immediately goes Jadon Sancho, which is obviously not right.
He played in 2 World Cup qualifying campaigns. He was at the Olympics. He played in the 2006 FIFA World Cup for Australia. He's captained Australia before. He's scored for Australia a cracking volley from 25 metres for a 1-0 win over Greece. He was selected for the squad in 2006 but didn't play for Australia.
First name, then let's eat this out a little more.
First name, Josip.
Simic?
No.
No, Dave, this is nothing.
It is Josip Skoko.
Oh, yeah, I know the name.
You know him,
yeah.
yeah. You know how did I find him? I went, I don't think we've done many Australians in Wikifiles, and then picked the most obscure Australian that has played more than 31 games in the Premier League.
And your knowledge of him before that, did you see him and go, oh yeah, or did you go, oh?
No, I saw him and thought I sort of recognised the name, and then I looked at his career path and I was like, I did not know that. Like,
no, we've got a mixed bag there to say it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's Australia, Sweden, Australia, Croatia, Belgium, Turkey, England, English second division, like championship, back to Croatia, back to Australia. It's like so bizarre. And the Swedish being in there is.
Isn't there a link?
Weird.
There's a link between Croatia and Australia, isn't there?
There's a lot of Croatian and Australian.
I think there's a historical link between Australia and Croatia, actually.
There you go.
I mean, his name, Joseph, as well. It seems.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Josip Skoko. And if you do want to look at his Wikipedia page, the actual photo they've got of him is brilliant because it just shows his back. Like, there's no photos of his face or anything like that. It's just his back wearing the number 24 for Wigan. So.
Joseph Skoko. Oh, I don't even recognise his face. That is a very, very good card, eh?
I'm delighted with that wiki file and very, very happy. Very, very happy with that. So,
enjoy next week then, Dave.
Yeah, cheers. Cheers.
Well, I have to get more and more niche as we go on.
You've got me twice with 2 Dr. Congo players. So
I have, yeah. Wait for the third treatment of Dr. Congo.
Yeah, I had to get you back. I will say from now on then, we'll be doing next week will be a Euro 2021 preview. So if you've got any comments for us or things you'd like for us to discuss or questions to ask us in the Euros preview, get them into us on Twitter or in the comments or on the comments of this video or on Spotify, anything like that. And I'm looking forward to it. A bit of a change of pace for the Euros.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty Euros heavy. Obviously, we'll still touch on the news. We'll talk about the managerial comings and goings, the transfer comings and goings. But yeah, it will be the Euros is the main football at the moment, and obviously England squads to be decided. We'll talk through our fantasy football performance. So yeah, it should be a very enjoyable summer, I think.
Yeah, it should be good. But that does bring an end to this week's podcast. So thank you so much for listening. If you've been with us live on YouTube, thank you for all the questions and comments. If you want to get hold of us before next week's show, you can find us on Twitter @Football Talk. But remember,
there's no A in football.
There's no A in football. So thank you so much for watching. We'll be back next week. We're out. Cheers.